One of these.
Uh, Hey, everybody, guess what? We're live. It's Friday. It's Small Business Friday. I'm so excited because today we're just chatting before we went live here. This is something that every parent who has a child in school can use right now. We're here with the Learning Lab to talk about what they do and how they can help us through this. All of us are trying to manage our home and take care of our kids. And now some of us have been put in position to be our child's teacher. Even though they are doing things online, there's still so many things that we have to fill in. How's it going this morning, Jennifer?
Well, we are busy. I know I don't have to say that, right? Because probably people can put two and two together, but it's been, pretty crazy in all aspects of life, but particularly education. A lot of parents are still grappling with how much did my child miss last year when everything went online. And then I think everybody sort of thought, oh, we're going to go back to normal. This is all going to be over. And then the new school year started and it had challenges of its own. So, we're busy. I'll say that much. A lot of tutoring, a lot of educational assessments. Gateway is our private school. It's starting to fill up. So, it's just going to be one of those years. I don't think it's going to slow down.
Right. Tell me exactly what the Learning Lab can offer for parents right now.
It's funny because when I came to work here in the spring, and I call it Brentwood and Nashville's best kept secret because a lot of people have never heard of us, but we do everything from test prep to tutoring to educational assessments. We have a small private school and it's called Gateway Academy. And what we do there is one-on-one learning. So what we've noticed is that a lot of students have trouble, particularly when it comes to the online platforms, when you have so many competing, people chatting. It's hard to kind of corral everybody in. And that's the difference with Gateway, is that it's one-on-one. Our students are still physically in the building because we have, a small number, and they're, whereas people would go from a classroom, they actually go to different offices for each class and meet with their teachers individually. And that's been attractive, particularly this year, for people who don't feel comfortable for whatever reason sending their child into the classroom. We have some students who have compromised immune systems. Obviously, that's a big concern for some parents right now. The distraction, like, we talked about before. High school, any school is distracting on a regular basis, right? With so many different kids in there at the same time. So that's something that we see at Gateway. And the psychoeducational assessments are really ramping up. We did more last month than we have done in years, primarily because parents are just trying to figure out, does my child have some kind of a learning difference like dyslexia, or is there just something going on at school or not going on at school that's causing the problem? And we can go through that in a very detailed way and give them strategies that will help them at home, things that parents can do. Because let's face it, none of us signed up to be homeschool teachers. Some of us
Right.
did, and those people are probably doing great, but the rest
Yeah.
of us did not. And so
Right.
that's where we are right now, really, with our business.
Yeah. I noticed that you guys are doing like virtual tutoring because you mentioned some people
Mhm.
don't necessarily want to do in person. Tell us how that works.
Yeah, we've never done that before. In fact, we had never done Gateway online before. So we had to pivot like everyone else and make the decision, not only because some students wanted it, but a lot of our tutors did not feel comfortable for whatever reason. And that's changed. There's an ebb and flow depending
Right.
on how things are going. But we finally came up with the idea that we could meet them out. So, like, let's say you want us to meet you in a park or an open space where it feels more comfortable. We do that. We can do it online, which shockingly is a lot more effective than you might think. I was skeptical at first because, you just wonder if that connection could possibly work. But it's really fascinating to see some of our tutors. They'll have these big dry erase boards, and they're doing this interactive stuff. I wish I had some of that on video because it is kind of cool to see. And then we will go to people's homes. We came up with one model where, let's say you had, when people were doing pods, I don't know if there's a lot of that going on right now, but we had a lot of people who were doing pods in their home. So
Right.
we were offering not really tutoring, but sort of light help for our tutors to come out and just keep the ball rolling with online learning. People have jobs, they
Right.
don't have time to sit all day long in third grade again.
Right.
So that's what we were mostly seeing. And for the high school students, it's a little different. I think they're so accustomed to being online that it's not that big of a deal. But when you have, a younger child, that's pretty intense for parents.
Right. Right. For those elementary and middle schoolers, I feel
Right.
like that's definitely a shift for them. You mentioned Gateway, the school that you offer, and you said there are a few openings if people are looking ahead to next semester. How many openings do you have available?
Well, so we have two physical locations. We have one in Brentwood. Specifically, we have one in Maryland Farms and right at the corner of Granny White Pike. Our other location is in Hillsborough Village, which still is not that far away. We have more openings at the Nashville location than we do the Brentwood location. That we're really starting to see things ramp up there. But we also have some other alternatives that if we run out of physical space at our locations, we can do a hybrid model or some kind of way that they could do it online or partially online. Another thing we're seeing is, homeschool parents do generally a great job up to a certain point when, you have maybe pre-calculus or physics or chemistry, some things that you maybe don't have the expertise. So that's another thing we do at Gateway is sort of fill in those gaps. You don't have to come to us for everything. You can just if you call us, we can find some solutions that may also work for families.
Right. Which again, I know I've mentioned before, those middle schoolers, some of those classes get a little more intense. And so while you're thinking about maybe doing something at home, that what you just mentioned would be helpful to have that extra help.
Right. Something else we are launching as we speak is a reading program because people don't think about this, but reading is not that easy to learn. Like most of us don't even remember how we learned to read. Between when I learned to read and my daughter learned to read, everything changed. But not all kids, it's not a one size fits all thing. So, what we're doing is launching a reading program so that we can use multisensory strategies to help kids understand and work one on one with them. There's a difference too between reading fluency and reading comprehension. A lot of kids might learn how to, say the words out loud and read a whole sentence, but if you ask them a question, they have no idea what they just read. So we help connect those dots, which are really the foundational building blocks for everything. You're not going to be doing well at science or social studies or anything if you can't read well. And the program's also going to have a writing lab. They don't teach cursive writing in
I
school.
know. I
And
know.
I get it because, I don't really, most of us type and do all that right now, but we're going to have a lab for that. We're also going to have creative writing labs, Socratic seminars, and things for older kids to really foster not only the ability to read, but also a lifelong love of reading.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned cursive writing. My kids, if someone sends us something like a family member in cursive, they can't read it.
No, I'll go. I hate to be a one-upper, but my daughter had to send out her graduation thank you notes, and she goes, "Mom, how do I address this letter?" I was like, "My gosh, you graduated with honors, and you don't know how to address an envelope." Sorry, but it is kind of fascinating things that have just kind of fallen by the wayside, and that's no disrespect to any particular school. It just that's on her or me. It's on
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. But I think that's interesting. So, yes, we should bring back cursive writing. Thanks to Learning Lab for bringing back cursive
We're bringing
writing.
it back,
It'll be the new trend.
right?
All right. Well, hey, it's been great to catch up with you, learn more about Learning Lab. Tell everybody, I know we've given them a whole lot of information, a whole lot to think about.
It's a
Tell
lot
them,
to process. It's
yeah,
better just to go to the website because we have everything on there. We even have a great video of Gateway that showcases some of our families. You can just see a lot more about what it's about, more than what I could say in an interview.
yeah. All right. Tell everybody the website so they can check it out.
All right, it's www.mylearnlab.com.
All right. Thanks so much, Jennifer.
All right, thanks for chatting with
Happy,
me.
yeah, happy Friday, everyone. We will see you back again soon. Bye.
Bye.